Welcome. This is going to be an unboxing of, well, maybe not Desert Storm, the 100 Hours War. This has been out for a few years. Accurate simulations, and if you go to their BGG site, they do have a number of unboxings of this game already. But what I just received, and this game, of course, covers first Desert Storm, well, Desert Storm instead of Iraqi Freedom. But what they just came out with is an expansion. Let me get this stuff out of the way. I put everything in the same box called Iraqi Freedom. So they're taking the base game now, and amongst other things, you can get it. I just got this like a day or two ago, and this is called Iraqi Freedom 30 Days to Baghdad. So it covers the post 2000, where we go all the way to Baghdad and get Saddam. And it's an expansion, it's not a separate game. It came in a Ziploc bag, but luckily it fits in the box with the first one. And it does have some other stuff besides Iraqi Freedom. It has a supplement for the original game too, additional rules, etc., errata, and I think the counters are updated too. So what I want to look at here is, look at the expansion here. So let me get my place arranged here. Take it out of the Ziploc. Now the interesting thing also is the original game came with a paper map, but this one will be coming with two mounted maps. And in the expansion, we have the rules booklet, okay, and I'll zoom it in later when we look at this. And again, this is not a standalone game. You need the original rules from the base game, and this adds additional rules to that to cover now Iraqi Freedom 30 Days to Baghdad. But the other cool thing is, and we'll look at this shortly, Desert Storm Supplement. This is a supplement to the first game. And something else I've been seeing recently, I think VUCA does this kind of hard cardboard terrain effects here. We'll look at that. And then here's the counter sheet, similar format as with the 100 Days War. I think basically similar counters, but here we got 22 high value targets. That's the interesting one, where the coalition is going around trying to hunt these down. Here we got burning oil fields. I don't think it uses these from the previous game, but we got different weapons, a lot of air power. Not as many ground troops, I'm guessing here. And the Iraqi army isn't that big either. And then we've got two mounted map boards because now the battle is across all of Iraq. So let's do this. While I've got the camera zoomed out, we'll look at the maps first. And it's similar. I mean, if I did have one thing I don't like about the map is the hex outlines are white, not black, which is a little harder to see. And we do see the starting line here with Kuwait, and then it's kind of at an angle too. And then you're driving up and you do see things like airfields, oil rigs. There's the Euphrates. I don't think it's on, well, here's a launcher site, etc. And then we have, I guess this is the south map. And oh yeah, here's known and suspected Iraqi nuclear, biological, chemical, missile facilities. That was a big part of it too. And then the northern map, which sits on top of this, kind of, they say. It doesn't quite line up. Let me take a look at that here. Yeah, they said it's not perfect, but it does kind of line up here. They had to do it at an angle. And this one goes like this. I think you can see it all. And there's Baghdad, there's Fallujah, Ramadi, nuclear site. Then you put the high value in different places too. Yeah, and then it goes off into northern. There's Mosul up in the north. I think the 4th Infantry Division was supposed to come through Turkey, but the Turks said no, and it had to go back down to Kuwait, but if they do, I think there's an optional rule where they do come in here, and the Kurds are going to be operating up here too. There's a chemical site, it looks like, yeah, and they've got letters by them. So in this game, and I've done a skim through, there's actually no limited turns. It goes as long as it does. The game ends when 2 hexes of Baghdad are taken by coalition. Sorry for the shadow there. And that's when the game ends. And then it's just a matter of victory points, getting the high value targets, which you place all over the map, 22, getting these different sites, and then deciding, I guess, when you want to end it. So this game will go for a while, unlike the 100 days where it was just basically kick the Iraqis out of Kuwait. So that's the maps. And again, these are hardbound backed here. And they go together. But let's go ahead and look at these rules and counters here. And I'm going to zoom in my game here and zoom in my map here. And we'll take a closer look at these here. Hold on. Okay, that's hopefully a closer view. Let's take a look real quick first at the supplement. This adds to the original game, and they actually have a campaign where the results of the first game affects some Iraqi forces in the second game. But it can be played standalone. Now here's a big thing. There's event cards in the original game. Actually, we got some here and some additional ones here. But they didn't have really an effect. They just affected these tracks that's in the original game. They have these 4 different tracks, political, military, etc., that determines how well you win as the coalition or the Iraqi. But now what they've added here with the supplement is actual something happens when these cards are drawn. So that adds, more variability, I guess you'd call it here. So we say Kuwaiti employees help. If the die roll is 1, each turn starts with coalition, and they give die rolls and odds of certain events. Some cards now cancel others. So it changes, I guess it adds some replayability too. So again, now these cards aren't used, I don't think they're used in the Iraqi Freedom, and then you can see there's more here. Then they have errata clarifications. Yeah, most of these errata, they've got a replacement counter, air mission, reduced air units, search and rescue. And then they throw in the historical scenario, they call it, and you've actually got the locations of all coalition and then Iraqi units. These are their formation numbers here. And this starts, it says it starts on turn 3. I'm assuming it happens after the air campaign and then the land campaign starts. And then special rules if you're playing the historical along with starting on turn 3. Along with starting on turn 3. Some changes in munition rules. Well, not a lot here. Any coalition air units stacked with guided munitions and bomb. Iraqi land units there normally. Okay. Yeah, not too many. Not too many at all. Coalition player. It's adding 2 combat numbers of any coalition units that are stacked with a single combat strength. Okay, some modifications of combat, and then he does have a scenario notes for this supplement. So this is interesting here. Kind of does some clarifications, enhances the event cards, and gives you a historical scenario. And then we look at, this is the actual rules booklet for Iraqi Freedom. Again, this is not complete. You've got to have the Desert Storm rules for the basic movement, combat, etc. rules. And this kind of adds it. We've got some new units in the game now. Special forces, ballistic missiles. These are the Iraqis. Here's your Patriot batteries. Here's your high-value targets and precision weapons. Okay. Now these are samples too, so they may be present. Here they talk about how to orient the map, and it doesn't quite line up perfectly along here, but there you go. And now we see all of Iraq is in the battle here. They talk about the maps and the different indicate we saw on there, the high value, the chemical, biological, etc. No game turn limit. Game ends when 2 of the 3 Baghdad city hexes are occupied by the U.S., so maybe the U.S. delays it to get more victory points. Who knows? The scale, there is a company unit now, but normally it's going to be divisions, brigades, regiments, battalions. No event cards are used. Same pretty much sequence of play. In the base game, the other one they did have, these are naval air units, these are land-based air units. Now it's just all air units. They don't really worry too much about that. They don't have the carrier box off to the side. Refit phase, air-to-air combat special units with an X. They don't fight in air-to-air combat, but also they can't be attacked in air-to-air. There's like your stealth units, cruise missiles, ballistic missiles, etc. Difference, no suit track for bombing. Just tweaks here from the original air mobile. Let's see, land combat attack procedure. Mountain terrain is new in this one. Here's the Iraqi setup. And you do see the north map, south map. Some special units set up, I think, in Baghdad. And then the militia units. Got some called out here. They only have 1 MiG-21 in this one. But they do have some Scud-based missiles. So, and here's a new 22 high-value targets. They represent the leadership. I don't know if you remember that deck of cards. I think that was that one. Here's actually the cool thing about it. I'm not going to open this, but apparently the designer bought a bunch of these off eBay. This is the actual deck of cards from Iraqi Freedom of all the different people there. I guess I don't know if he's run out or not, but luckily I got one thrown in my box here. And again, I'm not going to open it, but these are, yeah, the actual cards. I think you found them on eBay, so I'm going to put these back here. You don't use them for the game, but it's a little bit of trivia there. Because there's 52 cards, so, but we're only worrying about 22 high-value targets in the game. And there they go, and they get points for it, especially if you get Saddam. Get a lot of points. Here's the US-UK setup. Notice it's just US-UK. We don't have a big coalition. Not as many units, I would imagine. Here are the Kurds. Peshmerga. I think these are the Kurds. And there are some off-map units that we can pull in. And then, of course, air power. That's the big one. That's what's going to basically deal with whatever Iraqi forces are left over. Cruise missiles, guided munitions. You can use these to improve your chance of successful bomb runs, but there's only so many once you use all your smart bombs, smart weapons. They're gone. We got an Apache and an AH-1 Cobra. Here's the 4th ID, 4th Infantry Mechanized. They're supposed to invade from Turkey, but Turkey said nope, and we had to send them around to Kuwait then. Here's high-value targets, guided munitions, some more information on these. The Kurds, yeah. Special Forces, Marine. Here's military police units. They don't serve any special function, but they're in the game. I mean, they've just got it. They're a normal combat unit. There's your sole Iraqi Air Force unit. And some, yeah, naval aviation have anchors, but it doesn't matter. This game doesn't split out. I mean, they all go off board when they're not, when they're done with their flights. Launcher areas, we saw that on the board. Get victory points for taking those. Ballistic missiles. Here's a Patriot battery, so in case the Iraqis use their ballistic missile and it's done within range of the Patriot, there's a chance the Patriot can shoot it down. Cruise missiles, Tomahawks from the fleet, stealth aircraft, insurgent units, and then how do you achieve victory? And basically it's all about victory points. So they got to get WMD sites. Looks like 1 victory point. High value targets, normally 1 victory point unless one of them ends up, I think you randomize and it's Saddam. You get 5. Battle for Baghdad. At the end of each game turn, Iraq automatically gains 1 victory point if at least 2 of the 3. See, this is why the U.S. can't take forever to take Baghdad, because the Iraqis get 1 victory point every turn. Well, the U.S. hasn't taken 2. And the high value targets can actually move during the game, and they can move off the board, and then the Iraqis get the victory point. So keeping them out of Baghdad and getting the high value targets off the board and inflicting casualties. Each step loss is another victory point. So that's how the Iraqis get it. And igniting oil fields. Each blaze will be counted as +1. Wow. They moved into that hex until it's extinguished. Yeah, and there's rules for doing that. Here's the campaign game. Played the base game first, and depending on the tracks and the differences, the Iraqis can be stronger, perhaps. And then some variant rules. Bridges, friendly fire, Iraqi reserves. And then 3 pages of designer notes. So good read there. Okay, so similar rules to the first game, but victory conditions and goals are pretty much different. It's just trying to hunt things down for the coalition, or just the U.S. and UK. Quick look at the counters, very similar to the first game. I think there's even a replacement counter here for the first game. But yeah, these are specific to this game. There's the 22 high value targets that are placed. And yeah, here's the US UK, a lot of air power. And here's the Iraqis here. So it's a slightly different play there. Backside, some of them I think are reduced. Yeah, the air units can be reduced, the ground units can be reduced. You can blow up bridges. And victory points. Okay. Oh, that's victory points for burning the oil fields there. And then we have, again, like I said, a kind of a hard cardboard kind of terrain effects chart there. So anyway, yeah, if you're interested in the base rules for the game itself, that comes with the original game, Desert Storm. So you can look, and there's some people have already done the videos on that. That's why I didn't do a full video of the base rules, but I'm probably going to play this game. It's in the queue. Actually, it's 2 games. So I definitely want to take a look at this. In general, playing out Desert Storm is, from a normal board game, war game point of view, it's one-sided. The Iraqis are going to get destroyed, and but the base game does add those different tracks where, inevitably the Iraqis will lose. But the question is, how well did the coalition win? And we kind of see the same thing with this game here. Iraqis eventually, they're going to lose. But the point is, can they delay them, stop them, prevent them from, the WMDs, the high value targets, etc. And there's no cards in this one. So we're going to see solitaire play too. But from what I've seen so far, solitaire play for Iraqi freedom should be pretty straightforward. The base game does have the cards, and I need to explore how that plays through because I haven't played that game yet. So my goal is, to get this on the table, or virtually, maybe whip up a vassal module and start doing some Desert Storm. I've actually looked at. I've got some other games. Command Magazine came out with a Desert Storm game magazine pretty soon after the battle. So I don't know how realistic it is. And then there was Phase Line Smash. I think I did a video on that way back that recreates Desert Storm, and it's really complex from what I saw. So it's more kind of a study and a simulation. So those are possibilities. And then I have been looking at computer games. I've got a Flight Simulator Strike Fighters 2 that does have a big mod for Desert Storm, Combat Mission Storm, I forgot what it's, CMSF, I don't know. The first Combat Mission that came out. There's some people got scenarios and mods that cover that battle too. And Wargame Design Studio, I think they have a squad battles, modern combat, I think they called it. And they're going to have scenarios from there with Iraq also down at the squad level. So a bunch of different ways to simulate Desert Storm here. Don't know if I'm going to poke around and record any of those, but I'm definitely going to get this one on the table. So anyway, I'll close it here. Yeah, if you want a review of the Desert Storm base game, BGG, I think 2 people at least have done Open the Box and reviewed it. And again, hopefully here real soon, I will be playing this game too. So stand by. Anyway, thanks for listening, like, comment, etc. And we'll see you at the next one.